Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of the generic anime podcast.
Did
I
you
had to
forget
take
our
a
name
second there to
already?
remember our name.
It's
Yeah,
such a
so
complex name.
Bruh.
it is a lot of consonants, a lot of vowels, and too many words for my simple mind to remember. So on today's episode, we're going to be talking about music and all the wonderful things that come with that. Before we start, we do want to apologize. We are having some technical difficulties with Discord, and this episode may be a little bit laggy, so apologies for that again. But before we get started on the music, I would just like to take a moment to ask, how are you guys doing today?
Doing good.
I want to
Doing
hang
pretty
myself
good.
from a tree.
Okay,
Nah.
not so good. Any
Don't
reason in
count-
particular, my friend?
I dropped my chocolate cake earlier on today.
Oh,
Not the
no, I'm
chocolate
guessing
cake.
Womp womp.
carpet flavored
floor.
cake
It fell
now.
on the floor, and I just looked at it. I'm like, damn.
A second row, man. You should have been quicker.
Yep,
I
sometimes
know.
it do be like that.
It do be like that.
Do for sure. Before we move into the music, we're just going to take a moment to talk about the news and what's been happening in our lives this week. For me,
Yeah.
yesterday, I just watched Dune for the first time, Dune Part 2,
Nice.
which I thought was an absolutely phenomenal film. For those who don't know, Dune is a sci-fi fantasy epic taking place 8,000 years in the future, in the year 10,000, where we follow the main character, Paul Atreides, this messiah, this prophet almost for these enslaved people of Arrakis, and how he sort of leads them against this great empire. It's sort of similar to Attack on Titan in that Paul and Eren both see the future, and this sort of drives them to do very questionable actions. But the main difference between Dune and Attack on Titan is Dune is actually good.
Whoa. We are
It's really-
already
really
starting
tearing
with
apart
some...
fight.
Starting
It's
with the
also
hot
what-
takes already.
It's also one
Um,
of the biggest inspirations behind Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, you
I
said
think,
that.
I
I'm
think
actually
it's
quite
also
curious.
a big inspiration for Star Wars. I might be wrong, but I think I've read that somewhere.
Could be, I don't know. I don't know.
I wouldn't be
anything about Star
surprised. It
Wars.
came out a decade before. Yeah.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. But yeah, I saw it many weeks late, but it definitely lived up to the hype. So I would
I
say
haven't
if
seen the
anyone is
second one.
looking for
What
something to
was
watch,
about
that's
the
one.
movie that like really spoke to you? Because I saw your tweet where you talk about how it seems that Dune was made for you.
Yeah, I think the world building is one of the most impressive things, and how they brought the world from the normals to life. Like Dune is like I guess it's very different from a lot of sci-fi fantasies, and like the technology it focuses on is sort of like part ecology. Like ecology is a big part of the economy, so like the whole world and universe of Doom, the whole empire runs on like this spice that they can only get from this single island, so this single planet, sorry, and they use that spice, I think, to like generate like interstellar travel and everything. So a lot of the film is all about like this war between spice, but the spice isn't just for like interstellar travel. It also gives people magic eyes and can see into the future. But there's also like all these sort of like it's hard to describe it. They're like a bunch of different people as well. So you've got the like sand people, the sand desert people,
Yes.
but you've also got these sort of like I don't know, they're like just neo-Nazi future bald
Damn.
people, I don't know. It's
Yep.
just a mix of so many different influences,
Oh.
and I thought they did really well to make it look as good as it does.
The spice must flow.
Yes.
Spice
Nice.
must flow.
I would
That-
like
that's
I could do with a
to
lot of
say
spice.
some things. I've technically seen two movies. One of them I still haven't finished yet because I had to leave the cinema early. But the second one I went to see yesterday,
For what?
Civil War.
Mm.
The new A24 film.
Yeah, it's such a fucking good movie.
Yeah, I saw you talk
It's-
about that as well. What
it's-
happens in that one?
So basically, what I looked into it, the president of this version of America stays on for a third term and disbands the FBI. He does a bunch of shit that makes a lot of the states very unhappy. So Texas and California secede and form the Western Forces. and they want to depose the president.
Texas and California agree with each other?
Yeah, I
That's
know, that's
acceptable.
surprising. It's Texas, California. There's other states, but I can't remember which ones. I think it was Florida as well, but I think
Florida.
I think they got defeated. And some
Florida
other-
has the greatest weapon known to man, the Florida man.
exactly.
Yeah, that's how I
And
can't
basic-
see them losing that.
And instead of following in normal war movies, right, we follow actually, soldiers in the battlefield. But no, in this one, what I found unique is it didn't follow this from the soldier's perspective. It went from the perspective of a war photographer instead, which I found a little more
that's really
interesting. And also, for some reason, they brought a child in there as well. I don't know why they chose that, but as the movie went on, and you get to see even more of the really, really messed up stuff, like killing of civilians, killing surrendered soldiers, killing soldiers who are already like on the verge of death, basically war crimes. You can see that as the
Those were
background.
all war crimes you just described.
I know. I know. Basically, just the whole like film became more grayer. Like literally, like the background was like slightly more darker as the film went on, and as we see the mind of the person getting progressively more deteriorated. That was one
that's
really cool thing I
interesting.
found about the film. I didn't actually notice it at first. It was my cousin, so shout out to him. I'm not gonna shout
Shout
him
out
out.
to Speedy's cousin.
Yeah, he told me that, and I didn't realize until after. Everything, the weapons and stuff was all pretty good as well, and I found something interesting that some scenes they were using airsoft gear instead of using actual Kevlar gear.
What's the difference?
Kevlar, actual Kevlar plates. You can see when the Western forces they're using the actual U.S. military gear, and then there's civilian people fighting the US military. Who
Okay,
are
sorry. I
basically
thought you
like-
meant the
Okay,
guns.
so-
I was like, what's a Kevlar gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they're using
Okay,
like
so
the
I think
stuff
I
you
got
find
it.
at airsoft fields, basically. And it's like,
Maybe,
there's
maybe
so
they
much
did
good
it like
stuff.
to give it a feel of realism, because let's
Yeah.
say this a civilian would not have access maybe to that type
Yeah.
of stuff.
Because
So maybe-
those sort of vests and things are quite expensive, but the airsoft ones are like 10, 20 pounds. They don't
You can
offer
still-
protection at all, but it's like you
You
can
can
put
still
your
throw a blade
magazines
in
in.
one. There are blade carrier versions of airsoft vest that we can just throw a full-on blade in.
Yeah.
Oh.
But like these guys, I think the only things they were using it was just to put like magazines in here, grenades and smokes and stuff like that. Also, there's one thing that I found really cool was when they were clearing buildings, you can see that they actually took time to actually learn how to do it, and then throwing up the hand signals
Good
here and
tactics.
there. Actual tactics were used instead of just everyone going into a room like that, like in Call of Duty Warzone.
have a manga
you
just
can see
for you, bro.
they go
Carry
in, they
on.
look around like
Really?
that, they check the corners, going up buildings.
Speedy.
So cool.
What you just described there is why I love the manga Jin. Like, a Jin it's technically like a supernaturally action thing, but the supernatural beings in it purely fight with hands and guns. So
Bang, bang.
they exist in this world that only people who have a Jin can see. So most regular people. So imagine it's like a stand, but it exclusively
So
fights
once
with
again,
like
schizophrenics
tactical,
again
like,
fighting
gun
things that don't
warfare.
actually exist.
Teki no stando.
It is so cool. It is very cool. But I
yeah.
think the mangaka for that is big into like military and military tactics, because even in this current like manga, which is sort of like an alien thing, like they're stuck in this base and there's just one alien that's there and it's haunting it. It's all like from
That
the
sounds
perspective
very
of like
similar to the
soldiers.
plot of the
who
original
go into there.
Alien film.
I mean, I'm sure he got inspired, but this one, bet this one's better.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But another film I did see a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't get to finish it because something went. And my cousin had to go to the hospital, so during the thing, was a film called Monkey Man.
Oh yeah,
This
yeah.
That's the-
Indian film.
Dev Patel.
It kind of
yeah.
Dev Patel, Dave Patel.
David Dave.
It's
Just
not. It's not
whitewash
Dave. It's
everyone's
Dev.
name.
It's a very, from what I've seen, very, very good. I only got up to like about halfway through it before we had to leave the cinema, but
Yeah.
very, very interesting, and also taking a lot of things learnt from what had happened in India around the sort of time of the temples trying to do land grabs and paying off the government to grab the land for them so they can build temples on this bit of land and killing all the civilians because of it. So
Yeah,
it
I
shows
think-
shows a side of India that not really many people see, and I think a hot take, right? Western countries do better Indian films than Indian film industry makes films.
Ooh.
Blasphemy, bro.
I've
Hollywood
only
is the
like
second
2 or
biggest
3
film export
Indian
in the
films.
world.
Ra One and I think it's Race. Those are the only 2 good Indian films in my opinion.
I think I've read somewhere that this movie was supposed to come out on Netflix.
Yeah,
but then
it
Netflix was a little bit
Shelved
afraid
it.
of the themes
Yeah.
of the movie, so they were like, "We're not gonna release that." But
Yeah,
then
I
I
read
think
that too.
Warner, I don't know if it's Warner Bros. Or someone else. They bought the rights for the movie, and then they ended up doing it the same. And
Yeah.
Dev Patel, he broke his hand and his feet doing the stunts for this film.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know
Because he
about that
wanted
part,
to
but
do
that part was
most
Jackie
of the
Chan
stunts.
stuff.
Yeah, he wanted to do most of the stunts himself. Because I think I was watching an interview of him, and he was like, I wanted to create a character that could be, the John Wick, but for Indians, and here we're entering a lot of territory about castings and stuff like that, because some people, how people think about casting someone from a different race. And he wanted to create a character that, I don't need to have a character, let's say a white character to represent like me,
A guy or
but I can
something.
create my character or
Yeah.
something like that. I may have paraphrased that a little bit wrong, but there's an interview. You guys can go watch it after that.
I
Yeah.
think it sounds really cool. Yeah.
There's
It's
also a
actually
finished
quite
John Wick.
interesting.
Yeah,
There is a
Wait.
finished
Oh,
John
yeah,
Wick as well.
Told us about that.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's called Sisu. I haven't. I've seen like some of the movie, and then I just got too fucking fed up with the inaccuracies with the tank, and I couldn't finish it. It was a pretty
Bro,
funny
tank
movie.
nerds be like, bro, this tank is not tanking.
Oh, that was one thing in Civil War. In Civil War, they were using this version of the Abrams that is based on the Centurion that they use for the movies, and for some reason that fucking annoyed me because
Yep.
it's not wide enough.
Yeah, the in Sisu they have a nondescript German tank, except it's a T-55 painted in grey.
Yeah.
So the tank didn't exist until like 10 years after the movie is supposed to be set
Yeah.
in, and it's Soviet.
All right.
Dear.
But yeah, finished John Wick is an old bearded man.
Oh, do you know when that came out? Is it recent or?
I think it came out like last year. It's relatively
Okay.
new.
Guys, I think we're very much eating into our
Yeah, we've
time.
gone into
So
movie
That's
that's
territory
the
rather
end of
than
the
news.
news, which was all about movies.
All right.
So yeah,
that's
on to
news.
the music now.
I have a beautiful segue though, so let's just pretend we
Yep.
organically ended
Yeah,
this
yeah.
conversation.
We will
All
put
right.
timestamps
you know-
properly if we remember.
Speaking of things we've been doing this week, what have you guys been listening to this week?
A lot of
And
hardcore
this is an open
punk.
question. Anyone can start first. We'll all have a shop. Anyone can start.
I've
first. What have you
recently
guys been
got
listening
back into one of my favorite genres of music called Eurobeat. I don't know why,
Oh,
but like I
weird.
started listening to it again. I'm just like, damn, this is such a vibe. Also, a lot of metalcore and hardcore punk because goddamn metalcore and hardcore—they're just so good.
Yeah.
I've been
Okay.
listening to audiobooks, not music, this week.
Ah, this guy.
Fucking cringe.
Boo.
I've been.
We
I've
don't
been
listen to books here. We don't read. We can.
I've
I
been listening
legitimately
to the
can't
second
read.
book of Dawn of Fire, The Gate of Bones. It's the
There's a cool
second
title
book.
though.
I don't know why, but I'd imagine you'd be listening to an audiobook of just tank stuff.
There's a, like
not
if I
sleep.
get tank stuff, I usually want them as physical books because there's the pictures and shit, and it's a lot easier to understand how something works when there's a diagram.
Yeah,
Feels
that's
the
very true,
monkey
actually.
brain. Ooh.
Monkey
tank.
need picture.
Ooh.
Monkey.
Monkey need picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to
I've
act
been
The
listening
reason
to
I
a
wanted
little
to
bit of
ask you-
everything. Sorry?
What did you say, anime?
I don't know. I was saying that I think I've listened to a little bit of everything this week, like a little bit of metal, of course, but I like to fuck. I like to listen to a lot of stuff. I don't like to listen
Yeah.
to just one style of music, so I try to keep.
Oh boy, here comes the lag.
I think that's
Anime
what-
cut up.
That's all good. This is this is part of the vibe. This is part of our
This is-
atmosphere.
yeah.
You know,
This
this,
is
is what
Discord
separates
being
us from other
shit.
podcasts.
Yes.
It's not
Yeah.
an episode of the generic anime podcast without any lag.
Technical
This is what
difficulties.
authentic friendships are like. Have you ever spoken to someone in real life? Sometimes people just lag. People just lag in real life.
I
They're like,
legitimately
yeah.
do. I legitimately lag in real life.
exactly. We're just authentic. Other
Right.
podcasts would cut this out, but not us. We keep it real.
Because we don't have time
Well-
to edit this shit.
Yeah. I edit the podcast in
Oh,
15 minutes and pretend like I do an hours of work.
Excellent. Speedy quality guaranteed.
Don't worry, I make the quality good.
Oh, nice. That was a good one. But anime, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying that I like to listen to a little bit of everything. I try to be eclectic with music. You know, I try to. Of course, I listen to a lot of metal, but I like a lot of lo-fi music, pop. I'm not too familiar with rap, honestly, but I do love, you know, a little bit of everything. I try to not just listen to one genre.
Sorry to barge
Okay.
in, but one really good rap group you should listen to is NWA. They're like my absolute
Uh,
favorite. I
I
can't
think I've
say
heard
I
about
can't say that.
It's coming straight from the underground.
Yeah,
I can't say what the actual name is because I will get cancelled probably because it's already happened once when I was in a casual conversation. I go,
No, I've
I didn't know
listened
that
to a
until
few songs
years
of them.
after.
I've listened to a few songs.
I love their stuff. They're so good.
Rap is probably the only genre of music I never listen to.
Really?
Ooh,
Yep.
haters in here.
Not even
The
Limp
only
Bizkit?
time I listen to rap is if my girlfriend's listening to something like Eminem. That's the only time I listen to rap.
Oh, of course, you guys. I don't really listen to rap, but I'll listen to Eminem. Of course, bro.
I don't listen to
Eminem
like,
is my favorite rapper.
if
best
you-
rapper of all time.
Corey
She's in, like,
Taylor's my
living room
favorite
listening to
rapper.
music. Since my girlfriend mainly listens to punk, but she has like some rap songs in there as well.
Just
And
like high
Eminem's
intensity
the only
stuff.
one I like recognize out of them because I don't listen to any of
I
them.
mean,
And
a lot of modern rap stuff has the same intensity from punk. Like sonically, they're very different, but I think
Yeah.
in terms of like the place they come from, they're both very similar in that fashion. This one artist, Playboy Carti, the goat.
Yeah.
He is obsessed. He is obsessed with like old like metal bands. Like he like in one of his tours, like I don't remember, is it the band Slayer or something? Like he will dress up completely as like old rock and punk acts because like
Nice.
in his head that's how he sort of views himself. So there's a little bit of overlap ish there,
That's
but I
pretty
do
cool.
agree, like sonically they are very different. But I know the reason we wanted to do this episode on music is because obviously we all love music. We're all big fans of music. But I guess let's say if there was anyone in the audience who's not as into music, what would you say is the appeal of music, or how would you go about trying to convince them to get into music?
here's an even better challenge for you guys. The only time I listen to music is when I'm at the gym. How would you convince me to listen to music when I'm not at the gym?
Okay, perfect. Let's do that. Let's
I
do
think
that.
I would.
Easy.
I don't think I don't need to convince you to listen to music outside of the gym because the fact that you're listening to music at the gym is already a good thing. Like, because if you were at the gym and you were not listening to music, I would think that you are a psychopath. Because
Yeah, that would be really fucking weird.
yeah, but like it's because I don't know. For me, the act of listening to music, it's something so natural that like I was checking some of the questions that we were preparing for this episode, and I don't know. Like I feel that like at some level, everyone is in love with music. Maybe
Yeah,
you
it's
don't.
such a universal thing.
Yeah, maybe you don't like a certain genre. Maybe I can understand like if someone is not a fan of metal or maybe rap or maybe punk or maybe whatever. But I think you have at least one song that you like to sing or to muffle when you're doing your chores or stuff like that.
Yeah. Also, like, music is this. It's such a motivational thing when you're listening to it. Like I feel like it would be impossible to do something like Anime mentioned chores. Like nobody likes doing chores, and if you listen like blast metal really hard when you're doing the chores, that makes it more fun, makes it bearable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be
definitely.
mopping the floor like yeah.
It's like you're using the lawnmower, you play Sabaton and it becomes a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Time
But
to
yeah,
install
I think
tracks
those
on
are
that.
both really great points. And for me, they're all like part of an even bigger idea is just music is very diverse. Like you can do so much with it. You can listen to it in the gym, you can listen to it as you're mowing, you can have it as something in the background while you're studying to, or as I've sort of grown to appreciate music more, you can just listen to something just experientially.
Yeah.
I don't do this all the time, but I have a friend who he exclusively listens to music on walks, and not just because he wants it something in the background, but he actively wants to focus on one album for, let's say, an hour. So he'll go to a place where there's nothing else but the music he can focus on. I think
I do that.
it's not
as
something
well.
we see as much these days, I guess, because it feels like music is more so about like bangers and like singles more so than like an experience. But if that's something you look out for, then you can definitely find that. And I think maybe something that would be very easy for a lot of people who want to try something more experiential is Daft Punk's Discovery album, because the Discovery album actually has like a music video which tells a story for every single song in that album.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Coincidentally enough, it's also like animated by an anime studio,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you can,
Anime
you know, the ones with blue
representation!
people, like the blue people. So yeah, you can literally listen to that album, focus on that, while also having the visual cue of like
Yes.
yeah, the anime that's essentially playing while you're
Yeah.
listening to the music that tells the story of the album, sort of. So people who are into music, who want to get into music, there's so much for it to do. And later on, we'll actually go on to talk a bit more about anime and music, but we'll save that for now.
Cheese, I've got a question for you, Cheese.
oh,
Does your
yeah.
gym, do they have TVs where they play cooking shows all the time?
No.
For some reason,
There's no
my
TVs
gym
at the
does
gym.
that.
What the fuck?
Like you're
gosh,
running
that is-
on the treadmill and you're looking up and it's some guy it's the Great British Bake Off and you're like, I'm trying not to think about that stuff and you're making me think about wanting to make a cake.
Exactly. Just make you hungry while you're working out.
Yeah, exactly. They have there's like 5 TVs and they all have cooking shows on.
They
It's like,
want
what
you
the
to be
fuck?
fat so that you can
Yep.
come to the gym.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
strategy.
There was a whole thing of, I think it was Planet Fitness started to sell pizza in some states in the US for that exact reason. But actually, I wanted to touch about something Consumer quickly mentioned, which is like listening to music when you're studying. Because, as I said, I don't listen to that much music unless I'm at the gym. A big part of that is because I used to work at nightclubs when I was a bouncer. And
Oh gosh, that'll
Ooh, Chief
yeah,
was a bouncer.
yeah, that removed a lot of my enthusiasm to listen to music outside of work because obviously it's blasting all the time. But also notice like when I'm getting older, I can no longer like if I'm concentrating on something like studying, I'm writing an essay, I'm writing a script, I can no longer listen to music because I've noticed that my spastic brain just goes, I'm not going to listen to this music now, not actually write
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, mine does that
I don't know
too.
if that's because I'm older, because I used to be able to do that when I was young, and now it's just, hey, this
No,
music is
same,
quite nice.
same.
I don't
For
care about
me,
my
I've
essay.
never been able to study and listen to music at the same time because I'll just get distracted and start vibing. So
Yeah,
I have to
usually
turn off the
listen to
music or
something
play
like-
something I
bro.
don't like or something like that.
Yeah, sometimes I manage to do it if I listen to music that's in languages I don't speak. Like,
Okay, yeah.
that works for me, but mostly nowadays I just listen to something like rain sounds or white noise when I'm studying because there needs
about
to be something in the
instrumental
background. Sometimes rarer though. I like if I'm really looking for something to listen to while I'm studying, I'd probably do. Weirdly, I do like this. I don't even remember the genre is called. If you know the band Verduna, and there's another one that sings in like Icelandic. It's almost like folk-ish music, like medieval style, like slow.
Oh yeah, I think I get the
Slow
vibe.
deliberate,
Just
yeah.
like
Bard
the
music?
old folk music.
Not
I
bard
have-
music. It's
Sounds like
It's-
folk
it's
music,
that-
just old school folk
yeah, it's
music.
that like wannabe medieval kind of stuff that we
Mm,
nowadays
okay,
think of like what would be medieval music.
Yeah.
I got to ask though, what is your guys like study music? When you do study or like do chores or anything, what is the type of music that you specifically put on for that?
Well, it depends. Because if I'm really studying, I'm just gonna put some lo-fi. Because no words, I can't be distracted. Because if I try to listen to metal music while I try to study, I'm not gonna study at all. But if let's say I'm doing a work or something like that, like I'm working on the computer doing some stuff, I can listen to any type of music.
Yeah, for me, I've tried to pick depending on what phase of studying I'm in. First thing though is I never listen to new music while I'm studying because that will draw me out of it. If it's an album I already really know quite well, it's unlikely to draw me out of it because like at that point it's just like I'm just doing it just for like the beat to get me through it. If I'm at a stage of studying where I'm getting sick of it, I'll put on something that's really like upbeat. I might put up some like hip hop or something just to like try and bring my spirits up, you know, to wake me up. But normally at the start, I'll have something more chill, maybe like Animate said, maybe some like lo-fi or something, where like I really want to focus and get in the zone.
Yes.
And then I guess as it goes on, as I get more tired, I'll try and have something to just try and give me energy from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, when I kind of listen to like stuff like technical death metal when I'm studying.
Just
Well, what do you
just
mean, what the
insane
fuck?
riffs just get you going.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Listening to Crystal Mountain while studying, that's
yeah,
something.
Decapitated, Obscura, Infuri,
Bro.
like those three bands I tend to listen to just to normally, but like I listen to them a lot when I'm at like college, and I don't know why, but it just helps me work a little bit more better.
Yes.
But usually, but like to be honest, I actually don't genuinely study at all or do my homework. But the times when I'm at college, I'm usually just listening to one of those three bands or just anything fast, because
Yeah.
it's just like my brain like wakes back up again.
Every time someone says "wake up" and we're talking about music, I'm just reminded of the fucking Pro CD Goofy "Wake Me Up" song.
Wake me up inside.
Yeah, except he sings that in fucking Goofy voice, and it's awful.
I just think of System of a Down. Just wake up,
Wake up.
go wake up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bro.
Do you guys listen to new metal? Is that something you dabble in?
Yes, I love that stuff.
A bit.
I
It's
like
not my
that. I think that's
favorite
on
genre of
Scrubs.
metal, but
Yeah.
yeah, I like a lot of Evanescence. I like Linkin Park, but like the
Wait,
real
what the
new
fuck
metal.
did you just say about Linkin Park?
Like Linkin Park, I could classify it as new metal.
You have to censor every time he says Linkin Park.
No,
Well, your,
no, no,
well,
no,
your
no,
sensor's
no,
like
no.
0.5 seconds off, so by the time he's on the arc, it goes blip.
Yeah,
You
sorry.
don't, you don't like Linkin Park's consumer.
I think it's really cringe.
For me,
No,
Linkin
I know
Park
why.
has-
I know why.
Yeah.
When Consumer was 14, he had a Linkin Park phase, and he wants to forget about it.
I tried and I was like, no. But everyone around me did, and they've been trying to convince me that it's been good. I'm like, no.
No,
Don't
For me,
believe
Linkin
you. I
Park
don't
was
believe
that
you
like
can listen to this.
elementary school band, so it has that air of nostalgia. Still.
Yeah, same.
For me,
Like, it was one of
also-
the first bands that I found out, and then it was the first time that I've experienced like that in a certain way, because like I remember being in high school and then I saw the news about Chester Bennington dying, and that hit. I didn't thought it would hit as hard as it hit at the time. I wasn't even that big of a Linkin Park fan at the time, but then after that moment, I was like, damn, they were pretty cool. They were pretty cool.
they've apparently come back with a new singer.
Oh,
They
boy.
did.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Is
a
it
good
any
thing.
good?
I don't know. I haven't seen, but people are saying it's good. I think some people are saying it's good. I'm not sure yet. I haven't looked.
I mean,
I've only
Queen
seen the
came back
thing.
with Queen came back without Freddie Mercury, and people say it's pretty good. I
Yeah,
haven't listened-
it
seen any
depends
of
who
it.
you are. Well, I don't
Is
think.
it Adam Lambert who is the new
Yes.
singer? Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom actually
I
went
feel like
to
that's
see
quite
them.
weird.
Ooh,
Yeah, my mom
nice.
went to see them in Helsinki, and she said that it's good, but it's not Queen.
Ah,
I
Because
feel
you
like
can't replace
having a
Freddie
different
Mercury.
vocalist in a band is
Yeah.
crazy.
it has to
Yeah.
be. I brought it up in my Shimonetta video. It has to. The vocalist has to be good, but also honor the previous vocalist. Like when the singer for AC/DC died.
Yeah, that's a good
They
idea.
got the new one, and he's really good still, and he still brings the
Yes.
AC/DC feel. But obviously,
Yeah.
he's still not Bon Scott, and he does struggle
think-
on some bits where Bon Scott excelled.
Yeah. Also, there's the whole thing of
think-
like with,
sorry.
with Queen, like you can't replace Freddie Mercury. That's
Yeah.
just
Exactly.
impossible.
Of course, as
So-
well.
so you
He's
need
so,
to
so
do-
iconic.
Yeah, you need to do something different while still trying to maintain that Queen feel.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, when you change, especially like a lead singer of a band, the chances of that band becoming a cover band of themselves
Yeah.
becomes like gigantic. Because let's say
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you change a
absolutely.
guitarist, it's a big deal, but not as much as it is as the singer and stuff like that. So you need to be very smart on how you do that, because you either find someone who can replicate the OG stuff like as good, like as close as they can get to the original singer, or you just go like as Queen is doing, like a completely different way, and you don't try to emulate Freddie Mercury because
Yeah.
you can't.
And then you have bands like Nightwish, who I think they're now on the third singer, and they
Yes.
they give themselves like a new identity every time they
True.
get a new
Oh, like
singer.
almost every couple of them. That's a really interesting way of doing
Yeah.
it. Hmm
True.
I think another really good way, and what I think is probably the best way, is like what Joy Division did when, like the Disorder band. You know the one with the you know that black shirt that people wear with the like squiggly lines.
Oh yeah.
Well, that band.
Okay.
Anyway, so they dropped that album, big hit. We can tell because the shirts are still around like 40 years later.
Yes.
And then they dropped another album, but then their lead singer died. So what they did is then they just literally started a new band with all the same members plus a new vocalist, and then they sort of switched from like this really sort of like sadder, darker punk to like a little bit more of like a brighter. I don't know if I'd call it. I don't know what to call it. Like, I don't know. I'm not really good with 80s like music and genres, but they essentially just switched their sound up again. It's just kind of like they rebirthed the band almost. Same people, but new vocalist, new era kind of thing.
Kind of like Rage Against the Machine with Audioslave. They changed the vocalist. They got Chris Cornell, and it became like a different band. But it's still like mostly members of that previous band. So that's an interesting and intelligent way to do it.
Did they get more successful by any chance? Would you say, or was it similar? Or
yeah, it depends on who you're asking. Because personally, I preferred Audioslave to Rage Against the Machine, but I know that a lot of people would not agree with that opinion. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
So
I feel like music fans are like really opinionated on.
Bro, they're so pretentious as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you cannot have any discussions with music fans. See, I think it's
if you tell
way worse
certain
even
if
than
you tell
anime fans,
certain
bro.
metalheads that you like Sabaton, they will accuse you of being a certain type of German from the 1930s. That's what I found out the hard way.
no,
Oh god.
because I think that I don't like
The
about
Germans with the cool hand signs.
Yeah.
The one they stole from the Italians.
It's so dumb though, because the band itself is against those type of things, but they just sing about the military stuff, trying to spread the awareness of history. But then they're like, but then these people are like, no, the guys in an NSBM band. But like, yeah, it's so fucking stupid. Like some metalheads are dumb as fuck.
Consumer is correct. Like music fans are even worse than anime fans. If
Yeah.
you're trying to have a conversation.
Like, actually, this isn't technically metal, okay?
Yeah,
I would rather
on your
sit in
favorite
a
metal
room
album.
with a
This
My
is
Hero
not
Academia
metal.
Rule 34 drawer than have to converse with a metalhead who thinks I'm a Nazi every 10
Yeah.
minutes.
The thing with metal specifically is that I think that the main reason like that metal is not as mainstream as it was back in the day is
Depends on
exactly
where you're from.
No, yeah, but
Oh, yeah. Isn't Norway as well crazy with their metal?
Yeah,
and such?
Norway and Finland have the highest number of metal bands per capita, and it's not even
Black
close.
metal as well, I know, is
Yeah.
Scandinavian, is it?
Yep.
we can talk about the story of black metal as well here because there's a lot.
Oh,
there's a
yeah,
lot
okay.
Of shit.
Finish your
I've got
story, and then I
something
want
to talk
to
about
finish
black
that, and I
metal,
want to
right?
hear about this.
Basically the like I think that the big reason why metal is not as mainstream as it was, let's say, back in the 80s, the 90s, is due to the metal fans because they like to gatekeep a lot, and at the same time, like if you listen to something that is metal but is not metal to them, then they're gonna be like, you're not listening to real
It's like,
metal.
you listen
Real
to Papa
metal-
Roach fucking cringe.
Yeah.
Like melody,
you're
bro?
listening
What is this?
to
Melody?
You're
Get
listening
us
to
outta here.
Slipknot. Get out of here, bro. Like
Also, I
stuff
have
like
to
that.
think it's also the actual thing of, well, what black metal did in the 90s and late 80s, because mayhem kind of existed and they went around burning churches. Two of the band members are dead. One of them shot himself in the head. The other one stabbed the other one. That one's arrested and now
Stories
also,
like that probably did not help with the PR.
and also,
at
he's
all.
a little bit of the.
Yeah.
Also, that guy, he's a bit of the funny German hand signal guy as well.
Yes.
And he still
Yeah.
makes music to this day, as far as I'm.
Like
I think
for
as
those
far
of
as
you
I'm
who are
aware.
not familiar with the black metal scene and you want to get like a general idea, there's this movie called Lords of Chaos that I wouldn't say it's
It's not
like
accurate,
100%.
but
Yeah, it's not
right now.
accurate.
a somewhat okay representation
Yes.
of what happened.
Or if you wanna like have a fun way to watch it, just watch one of the latest Papa Meat videos because like he talk about the black metal scene in Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, actually, the shop that one of the members of Mayhem worked at got burnt down recently.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Bro.
Was there correlation between him working there?
Probably.
What was that film anime?
Lords of Chaos.
Fuck the bloody notifications going off. Why is Steam telling me I've got games? I know I have
Right.
games.
I actually think
Tusk.
this is a very nice segue into one of the questions I wanted to ask.
Ooh.
I was gonna save this for later, but we can do it now.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to, in general, just talk about how would you go about convincing someone to listen into your favorite genre, one they might not have tried. And I feel since so many of you guys are into metal, and I feel like it is that genre that gets that bad PR. How would you go about convincing someone who doesn't listen to metal or who's against listening
have
to
successfully
against it?
converted 5 people to get into
Yeah,
metal.
I think it really
Okay, you better have a
depends,
brilliant pitch then.
I've successfully converted 5 people to listen to metal randomly, and about 3 of them are from Sabaton. So yeah,
Shout out Sabaton.
Shout out Sabaton. Yeah, I
Sabaton.
convinced my mum to listen to metal by taking her to a Sabaton concert. Well, she took me to a Sabaton concert, and she liked Sabaton after that. Kind of.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
The Finnish army actually plays quite a lot of Sabaton because there are quite a few like songs about Finnish quote-unquote war heroes in Sabaton.
Lauri Alanturni,
Lauri Törni.
Larry Fawn. We'll go with that.
Then there is Simo Hau, Half the White Death, who I've actually met once. He died in the city where I lived when I was a kid.
Wow.
Nice.
In 2002, and
unfortunate.
my dad was the commandant of the military base. Then they had a Christmas party where he was invited, and I met him as a young lad, and he was very, very scary.
Well, a guy with 300 confirmed kills may be a tad bit scary to a child.
Only a little bit.
Also, when
Speedy,
were you a
700.
child? 700.
700. Yeah, he died in 2002, and I met him. I think it was either the Christmas of '99 or the Christmas of 2000.
Ah.
Anyway, back on track. I completely lost my train of thought. But
So,
yeah,
yeah.
the Finnish army plays quite a lot of Sabaton as well.
I managed to convince my friend in electrical class, right, to listen to deathcore.
What the fuck? How the fuck
Hey,
did you
that-
manage
that-
that?
Well,
I was
you
about
see,
to ask
this
that.
guy, he's just like a normal guy who listens to normal guy music, right? And I was like, here, play this song. I was big into Slaughter to Prevail at the time. Russian deathcore band. He's Romanian. And I just played Baba Yaga down the thing, and he was like, damn, this shit's good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised to this day how he got into it. I don't know, but like
yeah.
he loved it a lot. He listened to like System of a Down after and shit like that. I'm like, I did good. And then
Like-
what's it? There was one more. Oh, one of my friends in college. I just sent him like, what was it? Some really goofy I sent him Ailstorm Fuck with an Anchor, and he really enjoyed it because it was funny.
Yeah, take the funny
Nice.
angle.
Yeah, so I think it's just you find a band or some sort of song that like triggers a certain part of their personality that they think. Like,
Yeah.
So, for example, my friend, he liked pirates a lot, and he was like, yeah,
You should have told him to watch One Piece.
he already watched One Piece. he
But,
liked One
yeah,
Piece already. I'm like, here you go, listen to this pirate
Yeah,
band.
I actually agree with the whole like something just speaks to the personality. I was gonna take the anime angle in this because obviously it's the same thing with trying to convince someone to watch anime because there's so much different kind of music like metal out there that you just need to find the right band and the right type of metal.
True.
And it's the same
The
with anime.
gateway
like,
drug.
yeah, so someone
Yeah.
says they don't like anime, and then the only answer is that they just haven't seen the right anime yet.
True.
Yeah.
I
I
think
don't
you
really
can
like anime,
also-
but I really like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Anime,
really
but I
like
don't
Dragon Ball
Attack on
Z.
Titan.
I think you can mainly go with 2 ways. Like that's what I usually do. Like you can either go to like just straight up show them, let's say Slaughter to Prevail, Ginger, the very heavy stuff, or you can like you just go by steps. So you start with, let's say, AC/DC, then you go System of Down, then you go Death, and then you start getting them like to the real heavy
And once they're into death, you throw them into
Yeah.
the deep end.
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
You throw them
Have
into the
I?
stuff
Have you
that we in
guys told
Finland-
you about the way I discovered death metal?
No.
Yeah, but
Well,
from
say
the
that, 'cause that is one of the questions I have.
yes.
Yeah. But
Okay.
the kind
save
of
it for
music anime
later.
described is what we here in Finland called mursun tappo heavy, also known as walrus killing metal, because it's so hard that it even kills the walruses.
Yeah.
Poor little guys or big guys. Yeah, they
Poor
need to
big
deserve that.
guys.
Four big
I
guys.
Big guys could
I
be
remember. I just
competitive
remember
too.
seeing this picture, this out of context picture from a documentary of this. What's it? A walrus, and it's just the thing says he is 3.5 tons of raw sexual aggression. That is one of my favorite pictures of the time.
Oh god.
Are walruses like hippos? Are they kind of cute on the outside but absolutely terrified in reality.
I think they can get like really aggressive, and since they are like 3.5 tons, a big male, it will very easily kill you.
I believe there was actually a walrus that was terrorizing a town somewhere in Britain.
There was a walrus in Finland like a couple of years back, which is incredibly rare.
Oh wow.
Dear. Fair enough. Well, you guys have had your metal discussion. Now it's time for me to do my hip hop. I think a
I'm
lot.
just gonna leave the call real quick.
Bro's out. Bro's out.
Go on, Cheese. Want to play a game of War
Fuck this shit,
Thunder?
Emma. Well, I guess actually, you know what? I think we could actually do this in live reality form. What do you guys know / think of hip hop? I guess at the moment, I want to get like what is an outsider's perspective.
At
'cause
the
I'm very
moment,
ignorant.
it depends because like I'm not very familiar with the scene. Like I know, let's say the big names of pop. I'm talking pop, not hip hop. So Taylor Swift,
Bruh, nobody cares about pop.
No, but if we're talking about
Taylor
hip
Swift,
hop,
disgusting.
like if we're talking about hip hop, I'm stuck to Michael Jackson. For me, he's the goat. Yeah,
What?
He's the best.
Is
to
Mike,
ever
wait,
do it.
when was Michael Jackson considered hip hop?
No,
He's the king
no,
of pop.
Right, pop.
Bro,
I'm
rap.
talking about pop. I'm talking. You
Yeah.
guys talking? My
We're
bad,
talking
my bad,
hip
my
hop.
bad. My bad. I didn't
Michael
understand
Jackson.
correctly. I didn't understand correctly. My bad.
My experience with hip hop is limited to Samurai Champloo, which is an incredible anime, but
I used to be
Okay.
I'm
really,
gonna talk
really
a lot
big-
about that.
I
in
used
a
to be
little bit.
super duper big into hip hop when like in middle school, like NWA,
Eminem.
Ice Cube. Not so much Eminem. I think he kind of sucked.
That's kind of cool. Whoa,
I like
controversial,
one
but
song.
I don't hate it.
Biggie, Tupac, all
Lot
of
of
the
the 90s
big like
rappers.
all the big late 80s, early 90s stuff. I used to love that stuff.
Yeah.
Groovy, but
stuff.
like
Why-
I
what
got
happened?
I got sick of it because I just listened to it too much and just nothing was new. It all sounded just. It didn't. There wasn't really much like. It didn't really give the intensity that I like from music.
You know what? There's also like 3 other decades you could look at too, bro.
Drake sucks.
Drake, yeah, I don't really like Drake either. We're not, but nobody's invited Drake into this conversation.
Yeah.
He can walk right back. out. We don't like Drake. He can walk back out. He can
Kanye.
go
I used to
back out.
like Kanye, but like that was like just the funny song about being in Paris.
was that before he got weird?
Yeah, that was before he got weird.
Guys,
Kendrick
fellas
was-
in
but
Paris.
one
Graduation
rapper- one
is an
rapper-
amazing album. That's all
Yeah,
I'm gonna say.
one rapper I used to really like, Kendrick Lamar. He's a really good. He brings the intensity.
Actually, speaking of rappers, there's one I do quite like, and that's Snoop Dogg. Like his old stuff is really good.
Yeah.
Snoop.
Also, the greatest epic rap battle of history is the one where Snoop
Consumer,
Dogg
I
plays
can't
Moses.
read any of that. It's too pixelated.
Yeah, it's going really pixelated.
I just can't read
What
at
is that?
all,
I
so-
can't see it. I genuinely can't see
It's
it.
Kendrick Lamar's best album.
Oh, I think
Send us a picture. And
I think my
Speedy
favorite
can
one,
put it
Damn.
in post.
I can't be bothered to do that.
Sorry,
Okay.
never mind. It's just- oh,
Just
what were you
da-
saying?
Again, Speedy Boy guarantee of quality.
yeah, my favorite one is just Damn. I think that's what it's called or something like that.
Like
Okay.
consumer.
Oh.
It,
Yep,
like
go for it,
I'm not very familiar with hip hop, to be honest with you. So what would you say is like 3 albums that you would recommend to someone who's starting his journey on
Okay.
hip hop?
This is really hard. One, I was thinking about this like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But 2, this is really hard because hip hop is surprisingly diverse as a genre. So, for example, I was watching a YouTube video with a fellow creator, a small creator, and he was talking about how he wasn't really into rap. He couldn't find anything he liked
Yeah.
because mainly what he sort of listened to was industrial music, sort of like Nine Inch Nails. And then he found this band called Clippin', which are like a horrorcore industrial hip hop band.
Yeah.
That is to say, like, hip hop is very diverse, so I would ideally like to tailor it per person. But if I was
Yeah.
trying to be as general and as broad as possible,
Mm-hmm.
I would say College Dropout by Kanye West,
Okay.
just to
The Swedish
show
future.
a different side, like less, it was called backpack rap, like stuff you'd expect like the kids to listen to. It's a
Yes.
very fun sound. It's not sort of the typical stereotypical I guess, thug, thug end of hip hop. So that would be my first one. For something
Alright.
more contemporary like trap, I would say, what's this album called? Is it Dial It by Playboy Carti. That is more so your like traditional trap sound. Some might call some of the songs mumble rap, but I really like the um sort of atmosphere it creates. Like a lot of it is very like drug, I guess, influence.
Yes.
So a lot of the music is just meant to be like stuff you just lay back, chill out to. So those would be two that sort of define like something different, one that's a little bit more current, and then I would put one of my all-time favorites, which would be the album I just put out there, just To Pimp a Butterfly. It's a very challenging listen, I think, for someone who's new into rap, but maybe Good Kid, Mad City might be a better one. It was the album before To Pimp a Butterfly, but it really shows the artistic ability that's also capable in rap music. The album is a concept album where it's sort of achronologically each song follows the main guy, Kendrick Lamar, on a day in Compton. So he's taken his mom's van out just to see some girls, party with his friends. But while he's meeting one of the girls, what happens is he gets jumped by some of her cousins who don't like talking with him, gang affiliation, that sort of thing.
Yes.
And what happens is his friends try to back him up. In the process of that, one of his friends dies, and the whole send-off on the album is sort of one showing what it's like to live in Compton through
Yes.
what is West Coast hip hop like music that is essentially like influenced them, but two, to sort of show how it was like to like grow as a person in that sort of environment. And I guess how did he survive that? Like what kind of things did he take away? Like what allowed him to survive it? One, it's accessible, easy to listen to, but two, it also shows the art of hip hop, which is something I think.
So would you say
very...
that that's a conceptual album?
Yeah, that's a concept album. It's a concept
Yeah.
album. Yeah,
The question.
it's meant to be a film almost. On the cover, it's like short film. It's titled A Short Film by Kendrick Lamar. It's a very nice album.
Where the fuck is Compton?
Oh, West Coast
South
of America.
Central Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And
didn't
consumer,
know.
quick thing. Like, did he release like videos for this album, like regarding the story, or would you say it's like he didn't do that?
Not really. It's mainly just audio. Like what really ties the story is Kendrick likes to do this thing at the start of each song is like a short audio clip, like a phone call of
Yes.
him and his parents. And each phone call sort of gives you a little hint on what the song is going to be thematically about. So there's one song called I guess Shireen, aka Master Splinter's daughter. And that's the title track. It's like Kendrick's mom's on his phone. It's like, Kendrick, where you out? And she's like, I know you're not trying to fuck around with that girl Shireen again. You know you're not meant to be fucking around with girls. You know you should be doing your studies. So you know that's what it's going to be about. And the reason it's like aka Master Splinter's daughter is because Shireen, like, she's not all she appears on the like front end. Like Master Splinter's daughter, like her brothers, I guess, in this
Yes.
are meant to be like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like coming to jump him sort of idea.
No, I'm asking
Oh.
that because there was something that you said like early in the episode that I kind of can make a connection with that now, and is that the fact that sometimes like even if like let's say an album like that doesn't have any videos, like you can visualize the music because sometimes the music it's you just don't listen to it, you experience it like in a certain way. Like sometimes I like to take an album that I've listened 100 of times and I like to make scenarios about it, like listening to it. So I think that's another thing that it's pretty cool about music, that you don't need like I think this may be controversial what I'm gonna say, but music is a media that doesn't need like any other type of media to like no, it's not controversial. I think it's pretty normal. but
Coldest take imaginable coming up.
Yeah, no, but because like let's say if you watch a movie without music, it's gonna feel weird, right? Or
Yeah.
if you watch an anime without a soundtrack, it's gonna feel weird. But like
Or
if you
without an
listen
OP.
Yes, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
And what?
No,
But if you
I
listen
was,
to
I
one,
was yes.
No, don't worry. But if you listen to an album and then you don't have any videos or anything, you can like literally imagine, like you can use your imagination to experience that album to a level that it can be different from me to the way that I experience stuff. Like let's say we listen to the same album and I'm gonna have a different experience listening to that album compared to you.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah,
books,
definitely.
except
Yeah,
less
yeah,
words.
that was actually literally what I was thinking of. Books
Yeah.
as well. There's a
Yeah.
degree of your own imagination, and
Yeah,
how do
absolutely.
you interpret it as well. Into
And
that.
there is the weirdest thing, like when you've read a book that you really like, and your mind makes those voices for the characters, then you go and see a movie about that book, and the voices are different. And it's so
I have a
weird.
funny scenario for that. Did any of you guys read the Spy Family manga before the anime came
I
out?
did.
Yeah.
I did.
Same. How did you imagine Anya's voice?
Very childish.
Oh, I imagined her sound like a grown man. I imagined her sound like a grown man with a really rough voice.
I kind of had the,
Anya Peanuts got ski.
Anya
That's
Peanuts.
how I imagined her in my head.
I had a similar experience, not quite that extreme, but I was like, now that I think of it, I kind of imagined Anya sounding something like Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I can't
She
describe
sounded like a
what
troll to
Anya
me.
sounded
Like
like
she
in
was just
my
a
head.
troll in my head. And then when
I
I,
don't know.
heard her, I was like, this doesn't
I don't
sound
know.
right.
I haven't read the manga before, but for me, the voice that they've picked for Anya, I don't know. It feels like the perfect voice for
Oh
her.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is really
definitely.
good. It is really good.
Without any other
Not
voice.
enough Discord mod in her for me.
Now I'm
Yo.
gonna be a professional and switch my headset battery because it's running out because I forgot to change it
Yeah,
before the
no
recording.
worries. This is the moment of the video that we're gonna tell you to subscribe to the channel because we need your,
Yeah, do
your
that
subscription.
boop thing.
We want to get a studio in Japan, guys. So like, please subscribe and
Yeah.
share with everybody.
Yeah,
And
fly us to Japan, guys. We're taking
Yeah.
GoFundMe donations.
We're gonna rival a certain podcast that we
Yeah,
can
God.
name here.
The Joe
we're
Rogan
Stomp in the
podcast.
ground.
The Joe Rogan podcast, exactly.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
one.
The Japan department.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, okay. I think in terms of not anime. In terms of music, there is one very important question that we should talk about, I think, before we send off. It is, what is your guys' favorite artists?
Damn.
This should have been at the start, but I felt whatever. The way the conversation flowed, it
Yeah.
ended up being towards the end. What was
Animates.
your favorite artist?
I'm gonna do one
Damn.
thing, and then you should be able to guess.
Meshuggah.
Oh.
Nah. Okay,
Bro.
Meshuggah isn't my favorite, but like, I just like making the face because it's funny.
Hmm. Or album,
Damn.
or album, either whatever you feel.
The motherfucking Initial D soundtrack.
Oh god.
I think one artist it's hard because
I've
Yeah.
got too
like,
many
like
favorites.
if we're talking about genres, okay,
I'll give you
like
3. Or
Okay.
I don't know.
Three
What, you can
artists.
interpret
Okay.
whatever way you feel. Whatever.
perfect. Three. That's all I need. That's all I need.
I'm gonna need
Okay.
a lot more.
All right. I'm gonna go with first of all Joji. Like I'm a big
Okay.
Joji fan.
Did you know what Joji
I-
did before?
Yes, I knew.
Okay,
I
good.
know. I know. That's the reason. That's the reason why I love him. But basically, I love Nectar. Nectar, like that album was the first time that I've listened to something non-metal, like in my music journey, and I was like, damn, that it changed my life, like in a certain way. And I don't know, there's something about the way that Joji writes that I don't know, clicks with me. That's something that I don't know how to explain. And then in the metal realm, I'm gonna go with 2 bands. One it's called Trivium. I've made Speedy listen to a few of their songs.
They're quite good,
And
actually.
Yeah, for me the thing with Trivium is that they were the first band that I really got hooked on. Like the first time that I've actually bought an album, I've listened to it. I've tried to play the songs on the guitar and tried like to really get to know the band. That was the first time.
And he's gone.
Yeah, he's
Just
gone.
give it a second.
Anime,
they
repeat
were-
what you just said. It kind of just like froze
Yeah,
on
you-
us.
When you said
Yeah.
that was the first time, you cut out everything after that.
Fuck. Okay. I'm gonna try to say that again. Basically, Trivium was my first everything in terms of music. Like my first CD bought, my first album fully, like my first album that I've listened, the first metal concert that I went. It was like the first time for a lot of this stuff. So they have like a special place in my heart. And as of right now, I would say that I'm really into this power metal band. prog power metal band called Angra. Like I've used some of the shirts like in the past episodes. Unfortunately, I don't have one right now, but they are like this weird.
Prague.
Yeah, they
Boomer
basically do
music.
prog power metal with Brazilian music fusion.
Oh,
They do,
that's a
like,
very interesting mix.
yeah. They are amazing. Like I've never was interested into Brazilian music until I started listening to them. Then after that, it opened a new horizon for me. So those are my 3 picks for now.
Okay. Out of curiosity, do you use Rate Your Music by any chance?
Sorry, what?
Do you use Rate Your Music?
No,
What's
I don't.
that?
All right, no worries. Cool.
What's that?
It's like Mal, but for really pretentious music people.
Nice. I'm gonna have to download that. I want to be a pretentious.
I want to be a
pretentious.
pretentious fuck
Pretentious
as
as
Let me
fuck.
know.
Hey, wanna be
I'll add
pretentious.
you guys.
All right.
All right, cool. Cheese.
I kind of struggle with this because I don't have a single band I listen to that much. If I'd have to say something it may not be my favorite, but it's something that's been really influential to me, it would probably have to be Queen. Like,
Okay.
Queen is one of those bands I've always listened to. It was never the one I listened to the most, but it's something. My mom absolutely loved Queen, and I've been hearing Queen songs since I was probably like 1-2 years old, and it just kind of stuck with me.
It has an air of
Your
nostalgia to
your
it.
mom knows what's up. She
Yeah.
has amazing
She
taste.
knows that good stuff.
And I think that's probably I do listen to a lot of metal like Sabaton, Powerwolf, Disturbed, that sort of stuff. But
Nice.
it's all of my metal stuff. It's more mixed, so there isn't like one thing I listen to that much. So I probably can't say anything there. I'll just have to go with Queen.
That's fair enough. That's still a pretty good answer. I think the personal aspect is a very important part of music and how you get into it. And now, Speedy, I will allow you the total of 5 options just for
Five?
you. 5 artists.
Five?
Go
Oh
for
my
it.
god, this is like
5.
amazing.
Go crazy, my guy.
So,
Go
firstly,
crazy.
I'm gonna have to go with AC/DC because AC/DC was kind of like the
okay.
gateway into music for me, like rock music and stuff, and rock and just rock and metal. It's like it was. I bought my first ever like AC/DC. I bought two albums for AC/DC: Rock or Bust and Back in Black, because Back in Black is just
Back in Black is very
Back in Black.
Classic.
It's Highway to Hell. Everything. I got like I think I have like if I go into my Spotify, there's like 50 songs by AC/DC that I like have liked, and I think it's actually the most like listened to band I have on Spotify. Second, I think definitely Sabaton. I mean, I have
I've
like
heard you sing them quite a
seven
bit.
Sabaton t-shirts, like 7 or
He's
10.
literally wearing one, bro.
Yeah, I wear
This
them
guy's
every
sponsored
podcast.
by
There's
Sabaton.
I'm sponsored by Sabaton.
If
Now,
only.
Sabaton was the first ever concert I went to see. It was going to be Gojira, but like things happened, so I wasn't able to go. But yeah, and then I'm just going to say an entire genre, but the Eurobeat genre. Just that was like my first ever proper like time I got into the music, because it's just everything I need. I used to play a lot of like Need for Speed back in the day, and I literally just play it like through my PlayStation into my headphones, play and just play for hours just on the same 3 songs. I've got back into it a lot recently, and I just started like the entirety of the Initial D soundtrack is now my just Eurobeat playlist. And also
I've actually got a question about Eurobeat. When I think Eurobeat, I literally think Initial D. I want to know, is that just like an Initial D thing, or is that like just a racing thing?
It is, well, kind of. The genre did exist before, but Initial D popularized it by a fuck ton, because it was kind of just like a niche genre of dance music in the 80s.
Yes.
Sorry, not 80s, like 90s.
In the 90s.
Yeah, 90s, yeah.
Or early 2000s, something. One of these.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s. Initially popularized it because, I don't know why, but they just used that and it worked so well.
Yeah.
There was also this Japanese band called Move as well, who kind of did like a mixture of electro rock and Eurobeat. But yeah, what have I done? I've done AC/DC, Sabaton, Eurobeat. I've got 2 more now, and Anime music.
Well,
I'm
he's
just gonna,
running
I'm
out
just
of
gonna
things to
pick.
say.
I'm just gonna
Anime.
pick. I'm gonna
You're gonna
pick.
be the guy who says anime music.
I'm gonna pick the K-On! / Bocce the Rock soundtrack because I can't pick between the two because they're
Bro,
both
this
good.
guy.
No,
Okay.
the Butch
You guys
the
are
Rock
ruining all my
soundtrack-
questions, bro.
Yeah.
That was literally my next question, but talk about it more. It's a perfect
Okay.
segue.
K-On! Just is K-On! It's just so fun. It's just a fun, like, chill anime to watch, and just it kind of like got me to play guitar a lot more than I need to. I tried to learn like a bunch of the songs. I didn't know how to read tabs, so I didn't learn anything. But I have a Les Paul here from Botch the Rock. I may as well just quickly grab it. Just
Yeah,
cause.
Yeah, go
the-
for it,
Just
bro.
two
Les
seconds,
Paul
not too
custom.
far away.
Yeah. Actually, while Speed is away, have you guys heard of the band called The Who? As in H.
Yes. WHO.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
They
this
do
is
the
my
Doors album.
This
They-
is my
they
Epiphone
do-
Les Paul. It's got botchy
Ooh,
stickers
nice.
all over it. I've got them on the back as
Nice.
well. I got this. I don't know what this is. I forgot. Yeah, a strap. It's all very cool. It's been slightly modified. This pickup,
Yes.
I've made it so it doesn't work anymore.
Ah.
Because
No neck pickup.
It's The Who, so HU. They sing Mongolian throat singing metal.
Oh,
they're-
bro,
they're
that
cool.
sounds sick.
It
pretty
is
sure
really,
They
it's
did
really
something for
funky.
the soundtrack to Star Wars, one of the Star Wars
Yeah, they did,
games.
they did.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
It's-
Animate. There was
Yes.
already problems with the top, like the top humbucker. So I basically just went in there and disconnected it because I can't afford a new
Alright.
one. But I'm gonna put Seymour
Alright.
Duncans in there if I get the money.
If you want to have one, I have a Seymour Duncan laying down here. I can
Oh,
send
please
it
send it to me. Send it to me. Okay, so
Bro.
I've got, Bocce the Rock sort of got me back into playing guitar again. Hence why I got the Bocce the Rock fucking guitar. And like,
Nice.
I learned guitar learning some Blue Planet because that's my favorite fucking song from them. And
Nice.
I don't have to play anymore because I fucking did something to my hand where I couldn't move my left hand properly for some reason.
Oh.
I don't know why
Welcome.
that. Yeah, and then the fifth one is difficult again. Probably Decapitated actually.
I was
Death
half
metal?
expecting something really out of left field like Taylor Swift.
I'm not. I don't, why the
Good
fuck
one,
would you
mate.
think I'd listen to Taylor Swift? What's wrong with
I
me?
don't know.
Everyone's got like.
I don't know. You
you
look like a Swifty. You look like
Yes,
a
you look like a Swiftie.
What
so
the
much.
fuck? Why do I look like a Swiftie of all people? I don't like Taylor Swift. Ugh.
You,
Ugh.
you look like the kind of guy who like jumps into his
denial.
private jet to get a coffee from the kitchen. You know, like Taylor Swift.
The kind of guy who lives in a Starbucks, man.
Actually, I'm gonna put Ado in there. Not Decapitated. Sorry,
Oh,
Decapitated.
She did a
Ado.
One Piece soundtrack.
Yeah, and that's like the One Piece
From
soundtrack. I
Red.
think I listened to them. The One Piece song Backlight, however you say it in Japanese, but that song is just so fucking awesome. Her vocals, like, I'm pretty sure she must be inspired by some sort of metal because she does so much good harsh vocals. Like the screams that she
Yeah.
does is actually like fucking like death metal.
Is that the one that you showed me a few months ago?
I think so. I don't remember past like 2 weeks.
Nice.
I have a terrible memory, but Ado, her singing is just like it can go from really really nice like typical anime song to just wah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I'm not too surprised because I feel like the Japanese scene has quite a mix of stuff from like just
Yes.
typical soft J-pop to
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
really hard rock stuff, you know?
True.
she kind
Like,
of
you can even
bounces
see-
between different genres with songs. Like for show, she does. She has this like really high like electro pop sounding thing. Then it suddenly just becomes like Middle Eastern / Indian to one bit with the drums, and then she's rapping over it, and then it's like then she's like screaming again. And it's like it's so unique the way she does her singing and her music. It's all unique.
Yeah.
It's so different, but like it's so cool. So yeah, that I think that is my top 5.
Well, thank you for sharing your top 5, Speedy.
No
Following
problem,
on from your
consumer.
top 5, and in particular your Ado mention, I wanted to know what are some of your guys' favorite anime-related music. So that could be OPs, EDs, or OSTs. I feel like since we're an anime podcast, it would be nice to.
I would like
Yes.
to speak for
Bring up the
everybody.
animes a little
I'm going to
bit.
speak for everybody. The domestic girlfriend intro.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
The
yeah.
domestic
Wait, we're
girlfriend
not
intro
joking
is-
here.
Domestic girlfriend intro is fucking incredible.
Bro.
It is really good.
It is a banger. It's a banger.
It's a
Yeah.
banger.
All right, guys, you have some convincing to do because I've not seen it, and everything I know
Hold
from
on.
that show.
I'm gonna tell you a
really-
story, consumer. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story. Like I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember when I watched Domestic Girlfriend, but I remember just listening to that song on a reel on Instagram, and I was like, bro, this song it's a banger. And then I did,
Excuse me.
I
And
did
then you
like
found out where it's from afterwards.
yeah, and then I found out about where it was, and I was like, nah, this
And you were
can't be real.
excited. Let's go.
Yeah, I was like, for real, I thought maybe that's from a cool anime. Then I was like, oh fuck, that's from I've read.
For me, right, I got recommended the song in 2021, and then I only watched the anime in 2023. I did it. I knew the anime. I used to call it the Domestic Girlfriend song because I just never watched the Domestic Girlfriend.
Yeah.
But then, like, I watched it. I'm like, yeah, this is peak.
Yeah, the anime is not peak like Speedy tried to convince us, but the song is fucking incredible.
No, true.
It's just our version of EastEnders.
Okay, now
But
I'm
better.
gonna talk for everyone here, okay?
Okay.
Because the real the best OSTs in anime are from JoJo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
one to bring up.
The greatest
wow.
character song ever is Giorno's theme.
True.
It's
True.
so good and it's so iconic.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Like even the openings in JoJo.
Yeah.
They're very iconic.
Like you can literally ask anyone like like you can sing them the Giorno's theme and they will recognize it somehow.
Yeah,
Even
they
if it
will
was a
know it's JoJo.
meme, if it would I don't know. It got to a point where it is like that iconic.
I would like to bring up two anime intros here that I think are just
Yeah.
like amazing. Firstly, Evangelion.
Yep.
Yes,
Alright.
That
great
is
one.
such a good one. And then I
True.
think this one may be a bit of a hot take, but Demon Slayer season 1 intro. And season 2 as well,
Alright.
actually.
I
But
think season 1 intro is good. I
mid.
didn't like the season
Yeah.
2 one.
I actually quite
They-
enjoyed
they-
the season
they-
2 one.
They played the first season 1 in the Tokyo Olympics. That
Really?
like that just
Ooh,
speaks
nice.
volumes of its
That's
popularity.
cool. I didn't know that. But season
Yeah.
2 one was so different, but it felt so right for the anime.
True.
I don't know. The singer is really good as well. I listen to her songs. I don't know how to say
she's
it.
Lisa,
Aimer?
I think.
The
No,
fir-
Aimer
Yeah.
Aimer did the second one and Lisa did the first one, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did the first. Lisa did the first two because she did the one for the film as well.
Yes. True.
Lisa
I
is
have
one
a-
of my favorite J-pop songs.
Yeah,
artists.
I have a couple that. First of all, both of the Beastars openings are incredible.
They are
those
Yoasobi,
are
aren't
just-
they?
Those are just really good. Wait, what? Sorry.
Yoasobi.
Like
Yeah,
Playmations
Yosobi,
kind of thing.
Yosobi did the second one.
True.
I can't remember who did the first one. They're both very good. Uragiri no Yuyake is another one that's really,
I think the
really
first
good.
one was Aimer. I don't
It
remember.
could, I think it might be, yeah. But Uragiri no Yuyake is, I think, the first opening of Durarara, and it is so good.
I would like to speak for everybody again. The Lovers War intros.
Yeah.
They are just so
Oh.
groovy.
Drop that, bro.
They
How am I
got-
meant to remember.
They're still stuck into my head to this day. They're just so good.
I don't
True.
really care for either of them.
Bruh.
No, I
Also,
think all of three of them-
controversial.
One thing the animate will like is the first intro. I also like it. Is the first intro of Miranikki is really good.
Yeah, the first intro of Miraniki is amazing.
The second intro is
Yeah,
not so
the-
much.
True.
But
I
the
don't
first
even
one's really
remember
good.
the second.
Yeah, the first one is really good.
But I think I'm gonna have to go like, I think for me the best intro is fuck. I'm gonna have to go with Bleach. The first intro of
I
Bleach.
was waiting for it, man. I was
Yeah.
waiting for your
Oh,
Bleach
that's just a
one.
hot take.
Let's
Bro.
go.
I'm
Like
gonna-
if I have to be honest, I would have put every Bleach intro in this list, but
The entirety of
unfortunately I
Bleach.
can't.
Yeah.
Bro.
I'm gonna drop
Bleach-
a bit of a hot take here, but like I think my favorite anime intro of all time has got to be the first Girls and Panzer intro.
There ain't nobody listened to that.
Yeah.
At least I've not.
I really like
one
it.
thing that one thing that's also like it's not incredible, but it's so iconic is the very first opening of One Piece.
Oh yeah, that's a.
Yeah.
I haven't
very
even
common
watched
one.
One Piece and
Yeah.
I know that song.
Especially
We
like
are.
when you watch it on episode 1000, they play the original intro again, and it's so cool. Also, obviously, all
Ah.
Attack on Titan openings, but we
Yeah, I
made.
think a lot of the big three have
Also,
good ones, to be
um,
honest.
Yes, true.
Bocce the
I mean,
Rock.
you have We Are Fighting Dreamers, which is an iconic one. It's not great, but it's iconic.
No, I think Kanata. I think it's better than that one.
That's the Naruto one, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the most iconic Naruto one is Fighting Dreamers.
probably.
Yeah.
By the way, what's your opinion on the
Wait.
Death Note openings, boys?
First one is really good. Second
Yeah.
one is good, but only in a funny way.
I
Yeah.
can't remember any of them.
Now they are both amazing for me. I love them both.
I watched Death Note such a long time ago. I don't even remember the intro or anything that happens, but I do remember I watched it.
Death Note. It was like
Since we're-
you got good.
Since we're talking about anime music, there is one that everybody knows, and I want to hear your guys' opinions on it.
Oh, God.
All right.
Yes,
Yes,
Oh.
yes. Undeniable peak.
Bro, it was a banger. The first,
Certified
like, just when the first
good
note dropped,
classic.
immediate banger.
Like people can talk all the shit
I
they want
wanna-
about Tokyo Ghoul, but that opening is clean as fuck.
Isn't
I
that
wanna-
the outro song?
No, I think that's the intro. That's
No,
the
that's
intro.
the
can't
opening.
remember.
I
can't
want to
remember.
ask you
Yeah.
guys, what do you think of the first Sword Art Online intro? Like, just the
Ooh,
intro.
I
good.
can't really remember much of it,
It-
so I assume
It's
forgettable.
I've seen Sword Art Online. I've seen the first two seasons of Sword Art Online 3 times, and I could not remember a single piece of music in any of them.
I really like the intros of Sword Art Online. The intros to Sword Art Online are so much better than Sword Art Online.
I mean, a pile of dog turd on the side of a road is better than Sword Art Online.
Yeah. But the intros that they have are actually really good.
Can't
Like, I think
remember
Okay.
any.
Sword Art Actualization had a song by Lisa called Adamas, and it was really good. It was like a really like hard rock song, and it was just awesome. And then also Crossing Field by Lisa for the first season was just brilliant.
Yes. Banger.
Undeniable peak.
I think like speaking about controversial opinions, I think the My Hero openings they're pretty cool as well. Like they,
My Hero has some pretty decent music.
I've
in
never
it.
listened to the My Hero intros.
bro, that
Or
like
I've watched it.
one of the reasons why I've watched My Hero was the openings. Like all of the openings were pretty cool for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez, you like Licorice Recall, don't you?
Yeah,
What do you think of the outro to it?
it's pretty good.
I quite liked it too.
I like it too.
I think
Also-
outros are very underrated in terms
Yeah,
of what they
definitely.
can do for.
I
think,
prefer
like,
the outro to the intro, not gonna lie.
It kind of depends. Like, I think One Punch Man did first season of One Punch Man did a great job with the outro because it's such a
Cat-
contrast to everything else going on.
True.
Also,
Watching
One
it
Punch
weekly
Man's-
as well was really nice. It's a great
Yeah,
way to just
yeah,
decompress from the episode.
Yeah, and One Punch Man's opening is also incredible. Like, Hero is just an iconic anime
Another
song.
great one.
Sort of on the topic of
Suits it very
anime
well.
music, there's a Japanese band that called is it Trident? Yeah, Trident. It's a 3-piece like Japanese rock band that I really liked, and they recently did the what's it? They did the soundtrack for, well, not really the soundtrack. They've done a song for the Japanese Rainbow Six Siege tournaments called "Bite
nice.
the Bullet," which I
That's
found
quite
really
cool.
cool.
I think collabs like that are sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how important, like, because let's say, of course, a lot of these Japanese bands, they do music for anime movies and stuff like that. I wonder, like, if for them is something that they like to do. Like, let's say, if you are picked to do the opening of an anime, you're like hyped, or is it more like something that, fuck.
See, the thing
I need
is,
to do an
with
opening for
I
that.
I kind of looked into it. When they pick anime intro music, they kind of just go to the record label, and then they will just pick a random song, and then that will go with it. It's rare in some cases that they will get the artist to make an intro for the anime, like obviously with Yasobi for Oshinoko, and
Yes.
other
Yeah.
ones, the one for One Punch Man, some other ones,
Yeah.
and pretty much
I
all
think
the
it's-
Attack on Titan ones as well.
I think it's becoming more and more common to actually have the band make a song for your anime.
Yeah. Because
And
they
then taking one
seem to
from
do
them.
100 times better than just the randomly picked ones.
Yeah.
True.
And
But then
from
again,
what I-
speaking of randomly picked ones, Duvet from Series Experiments Lane is enormous.
Bro,
Like,
I
so
love that song. I love that
especially
song.
on TikTok, bro, and Reels. I feel like that song is now probably bigger than the anime they took it from, and at the same time, the band that they took it from at the time and put it into the anime was like completely unheard of. This 90s like Britpop band.
You want to know
Trying to think.
something
It's
funny?
like, sorry, just for the people who don't know, it's the song that goes like, "And you don't seem to understand."
I
It's
want
that
to know,
song.
what are your guys' like favorite anime soundtrack from just one anime? Well, what? Or just several anime. But what soundtrack would you say has some of the best songs?
Give Monogatari.
Jojo.
Monogatari is a
Monogatari.
good
I'm
OST.
gonna be that cringe guy. I'm gonna say Bocce the Rock.
I think if I really had
answer.
to pick one, I would actually probably have to go with Frieren, because Frieren's OST is just really, really good. It's really chill.
Consumer. Going back to
Yes,
what you were
man.
saying about Duvet.
Mhm.
A funny story about how I
Oh, he lagged.
Every time this guy
Come on.
freezes, it cracks me up, bro.
Bro,
Sorry, you cut out.
bro. No, don't worry. Basically, every time
I
that
keep thinking it's me, and then everybody else is just looking like.
Yeah.
yeah, bro.
But go on, my guy.
I
What were you
was
saying?
listening to that song like for months. I didn't knew that it was from the anime. Okay, then I started Serial Experiments Lane, and I was like, no way, that's the song. And then, but then as I was watching the anime, I was like, no, I can't believe that this song is attached.
No, I can't
to
believe
this.
that peak OP came from such mid shit.
True. That was literally was my reaction with that.
I gotta ask, do you guys like listen to Japanese music in general as well, rather than just the anime
I
interest, or is
listen
it
to-
just
I
anime?
used to listen
interest?
Yeah,
Metal.
I tried to.
Sometimes, yeah. Like one metal band that I quite like is Ningen Isu, which is like
Ooh.
these three old Japanese dudes who are like, we don't want to be businessmen anymore. We're just gonna form a metal
Nice.
band.
Yeah, I think one of them dresses
I'm-
up as an Edo era mathematician. One's an undead monk, and then the other
Yep.
one's like a yakuza disco guy.
Yeah.
That's what I found so funny about them.
Got this one album. It's like
What's that?
it's a Japanese band I listen to.
What band?
Boris.
Oh,
Boris, like Boris Johnson.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
my
They're like
favorite
a
one is the
post metal, sometimes like black metal band. Sick stuff.
One of them, I got 3 bands I want to talk about here real quickly. So the first one's called Love Bites. They're
Okay,
a
boss.
Japanese like power metal band. They're they're quite good. They're pretty good, I'd say. So I like a lot of power metal, and they're pretty good. Another one, Nemophila. I'm gonna say
The name
that.
sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, they're kind of like metalcore in a way. And I don't know what they're doing with their new album, because the new album's like weird, but they're kind of older stuff, because they're kind of a recent band, like really like old, like kind of old school / new like metalcore kind of. It's really good. And then the final one is a band called Her Name Blood, which is once
name,
again
cool name.
like another like Japanese metalcore band. I only like one song from them, but it's called Power, and it's just literally just about lifting weights.
Nice.
Excellent.
The music
that's
the
great.
music
Good
video
music
is just
right
a
there.
guy like just doing dumbbell curls and everything. It's quite cool.
Bro, for me, there's specifically 2 artists that I like to listen. One is Maximum the Hormone, amazing. There's nothing much to talk about them. And then there's this band called I think it's a band. It's called Ryujin, which they do basically power metal as well.
Oh, they did a collab with the singer of Dragon Force,
Yes, they did. They
that's
did.
cool.
and he actually
Like,
sung
they-
in Japanese.
Like they use like normal guitars, but they even use like Japanese instruments as well in their songs. They talk about like samurais, onis, and stuff like that. So they're pretty cool.
Oh, one more band I actually want to talk about. Another Japanese band. It's called a band called Hanabi or Hanabi, something like that.
Yeah, I know.
They got onto this band has been like really working, and they're doing it's. They got onto what's the band thing called? Metal Hammer's like cover for their February volume. They normally do like
Damn.
4. It was Bad Omens, Hanabi, and 2 other ones I don't remember. But I tried my best to try and get the Hanabi one, but nowhere was selling it. It was only the Bad Omen ones here. But
Womp
it's
womp.
kind of cool because I've been following them for a couple of years, and since like 2022, they kind of just had like a massive like surge in popularity. And then now, obviously, they're doing they were doing a world tour recent, a bunch of tours around the world, and they got onto the Metal Hammer magazine. I think they got interviewed by Lisa as well.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, they did. They did got interviewed by Lisa, and they've been doing quite a lot of stuff. I can't wait for them to hopefully do an anime intro at some point.
That's cool.
It is quite
Pretty cool.
Why the fuck am I Apple
All
Watch,
right.
not Apple watching?
In the hopes of keeping this video under 3 hours, in which
Yeah.
I do feel like we could probably talk about music for 3 hours.
We
I
could
want
do
to
a
be
little
all-
bit longer. Why the fuck is my Apple Watch not Apple Watching?
Why are you Apple
you
watching
guys.
in the
You
middle of
want
a
to?
recording?
No, I got a notification. And it's just black. The screen's just black. What the
The
fuck?
world has ended.
I was going to leave us all with one final question, which would be, if you had, well, not question even, what is one album you would recommend to the audience to listen to? And one album only for each person. That's specifically
Damn.
directed at you, Speedy Boy. One album you want the audience to listen to. And let's start first with Cheese. One album, maybe make an artist, up to you, whatever is easier for you. Cheese guy.
I'm gonna actually say The Who that I mentioned earlier because it is so interesting and so unique. And I think they deserve people listen to them because their stuff is really, really good.
And everybody needs to get into Mongolian throat singing at some point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mongolian throat singing metal.
Okay, cool. Anime?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with an artist. I recommend you all to check Angra. They're amazing. If you guys want a specific album, I could go with 3: Angel's Cry, Rebirth, and The Temple of Shadows. 3 amazing albums that changed the way that I see guitar playing in a certain way, and even like music in general.
Okay. Quick question, why?
Well,
So that's
for
quite a
example,
bold,
yeah.
take.
For the simple fact that the mainly elements of Angra are like classical music, like heavy metal, and Brazilian style music. So there's like this weird blend of these 3 that I don't know how, but it works. And these 3 albums, they did it the best for me. So that's why.
That's fair enough. Okay. Glad to hear it. And Speedy Boy,
Hello.
if you had to choose just one, what would you recommend to people?
I'm gonna say, what's the album called again? Because it's got a fucking confusing title. Let me just double check for you. Aha! The War to End All Wars by Sabaton.
Well, that's a really good title. And why would you choose this album?
Because it's my favorite Sabaton album.
Okay. of
Also,
course.
just like, even though this is technically their second album on World War One, this one was definitely a lot more better than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it kind of explores more of the like well-known things about World War One, like German stormtroopers, the Hellfighters, the Harlem Hellfighters, dreadnoughts, and also the Christmas Truce as well, which I actually messaged like 3 band members, like, please make a song about the Christmas Truce.
Yeah.
Is that the one that has the song called Father in it?
No, that's this here, the Weapons of the Modern Age EP.
Yeah. Yep. Where they sing
And-
about Haber.
For me,
Gosh.
if I had to choose just one, it would be an album I mentioned earlier from Kendrick Lamar, the concept album, Good Kid, Mad City. I think rap is a genre that is underrated. It is probably one of the most predominant genres in today, but I think it's underrated in some groups, and I think Good Kid, Mad City is a great album to show what rap can do while not being too out there that it will alienate people. So that's my one.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a listen this week.
Alright. Yeah, and I want to hear your opinions. In fact, I want to hear everybody who's watched this episode's opinions on what they thought of those albums. So you better listen to it, or else Speedy Boy is going to come to your house with a golf club.
Why specifically a golf club? That's not an effective weapon.
The most menacing of weapons, a golf club.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
What's it gonna like
You've
a
heard
crowbar?
it here. We're gonna
It is
pick
the
the
sweet-
most effective weapon and stand
Yep.
outside your house at 4
I
a.m.
will use my stand.
with our stats.
I will use my stand, Dreadnought, to summon a boat
Anyways.
outside your house and crush your house.
On that note, I would like to say thank you to everyone who has made it this far. Please do the YouTube things of the like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you next week for our next episode.
Where we
All
will
of your
actually
interaction-
have
And if
a
you haven't
guest
seen our last
on.
episode, watch that one too.
Do we have a guest next
Oh,
week?
lovely.
Hey, finally.
Yeah, we have a
All-
guest
all
next week, so
interactions
definitely
are-
keep an eye out for it. Obviously, follow us on Twitter, and I think we just have Twitter at the moment. And we have a
Yep.
TikTok, but we don't do anything with it because, well, we forgot to.
We probably should use it more.
TikTok shit.
Yeah.
It's probably getting banned in America
All
too.
interactions are a worthy sacrifice to the algorithm. God, please give us them.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, thank you. And bye.
Bye.